everyone, it's me, Kirsten. This is the It's Giving Mystical podcast, and this is your weekly card pull for the week of May 17th. So when we said it was an 8-year, and we said this is going to be about manifestation, we said this is going to be about experience, we said this is going to be about the material world. How is all the stuff you've been processing, integrating, healing, learning, developing, evolving into, how does that drop down into the physical form, and how does it reshape you in a way that your life can't help but reshape, in a way that your relationships and interactions and vibes can't help but shift? And not just like vibes in the like metaphysical sense, but vibes in the, what does it feel like in my life? What does my daily life feel like? What are the rhythms that I'm dancing within? How do they feel? What needs to shift? Where does the tempo need to slow down? Where does the tempo need to ramp up? Which instruments need to be taken off the stage altogether? What needs to be brought into the ensemble? So much actual change happening. And I imagine that's happening in your life too. It's one of those things where you're like, okay, I got this. And then another thing comes, and then another thing comes, and another thing comes. And it's like most people are operating kind of up against the edge. That tells us so many things. Is that sustainable? Does it feel good? Is this what you want? What is kind of ringing in the distance of, I see that this is the way it's been, or I see that this is what I've built, and I don't know if that's what I want anymore. And so the 8 years says, okay, great. There's no bad news under the sun. There's just the truth of what works now, the truth of what feels like it's nourishing, feels like it's harmonious for you now. The Ace of Pentacles week that we went through, there is just something different, something new in your field, around your body, around your money, around your limited resources. It's another way to think about earth energy. It's not that there's not an abundance of it. It's not that anything can't be created, that anything can happen. But there is kind of a truth to, you have right now today, X number of dollars in your bank account. You have right now today limitations around what your body can and can't do. Is all of that malleable? 1,000%. Is all of that constantly shifting? 1,000%. But is there kind of a concrete reality that you're dealing with right now? So spaces, your body, your money, your resources, all of that comes up in this Ace of Pentacles week, where it's like, oh, I see that differently. I'm holding that resource in a different way, or that new resource has taken on a different meaning to me. Or I don't know if that's a place I want to feed my energy anymore. Oh, this is a place where actually I really do need to put some attention. What's so cool about this week coming up, about May 17th, is in the Ace of Pentacles card, in many of the versions of the card, but we're talking about the traditional Rider-Waite image here, there's a gateway. And the Ace of Pentacles is, because it's so invested in earthly resources, in like the material world, God, the universe, source hands you this gift, and it's real. It has a real weight to it, a real presence and delineation to it. And it says you can stay here in the garden with this baby thing, with this baby seed, or you can take it and look past the garden walls and look past where you've been to see where you want to go. So the Ace of Pentacles is always this invitation to nurture something into its fullness, to nurture something from a seed into a blossom, into a fruit. And what's really cool when I was sitting with the energy of this week was that the Page of Pentacles came up. Okay, dude, that's the progression of the cards. We go Ace of Pentacles into Page of Pentacles. The Ace is the gift. The Page is the version of you that's holding this new thing for the first time. And the pages have this collective awe about them. All 4 of the pages, when you look at them, they're fully invested in this new thing. So if it's a cup, they're fully invested in the emotionality, the romance of the situation. If it's a sword, they're fully invested in the power and the sharpness of their wit, their mind, their language. And if it's the Page of Pentacles, there's this kind of investment in, wow, we live in a finite world. We're infinite beings in a finite world. What do I, and don't put pressure on that, meaning like it's done or still. It's not. We're still talking about fluid. We're still talking about the idea of that nothing dies, nothing is created. Energy is just constantly fluid transformation. Sometimes it has a little more fits and starts to it. Sometimes it's happening a little more gracefully. But there's always these transmutations, these transformations happening. So the Page of Pentacles is like, oh, I see. I got $5. I've got $5. What am I going to do with my $5? Oh, I see. I have 2 hands and 2 eyes and 2 ears. What am I going to do with this body? Oh, I see. My legs feel weak. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm full. I'm happy. I'm satisfied. I'm rested. I'm getting enough touch in my life. I'm not getting enough touch in my life. Like all these very real things of this is the way it is. And there's something really beautiful about this invitation of this is the way it is. And now what? And now what do I want to feed here? What do I want to build on here? And what feels like, thank you, I'm complete with that. This progression from Ace of Pentacles week where it's like, okay, there's something about our resources, something about our materiality that's coming into shape or into our vision. And then we're handed it and then we take it and we have something to do with it. We leave the garden gates. We kind of step out into the world with this new idea, this new seed, this new baby, this new resource. And we say, what am I going to do with this thing out in the world? And again, because we're in this 8 year, I want you to think about materiality as something so sacred and so magical and so interesting and so generative and so creative. As, okay, this is the form that I have today. What could this form become? I hope that makes sense. The Page of Pentacles takes it out of the garden. It's like, okay, what am I doing now with this? I really want you to think of May 17th. And I don't know what the astrology is. Maybe there's some astrology that lines up. Please let me know if there is. But it feels like you're literally stepping out of the garden with this new perspective around your resources. The Page of Pentacles is really offering you awe. Again, pages always come to us with awe. They also come to us with communication. Pages are known for communication. They're known for the movement of ideas and energy between you and the world, between you and another. So allow yourself to be open this week to new ideas, to learning, to people saying to you, I've done it this way. What do you think of that? Maybe you can, I was reading some article in the New York Times about people using like organizational software for their relationships. And part of me was like, ew. And part of me was like, genius. So is there something I could gather from that might help, feed my need for more organization in my life? Is there a way that actually having structure, having ideas about your limits, having kind of perspective about the limitations of your resources, you included, can help you become much more focused about what you want to do with that, what you want to do with those, what you want to do with yourself. So this Page of Pentacles week, I want you to really look at these 2 weeks as this dialogue. Universe shows you something, you take it into your being, take it into your arms, and really use this opportunity to step through the garden gate and begin to envision what you want to do now, what you want to do with it. It feels like a brilliant time for vision boarding, for journaling, for thinking through actually what is working for me, what is not working for me, where am I going? Where am I going with this beautiful package, these new resources? Where am I headed in the world with this? The Page of Pentacles feels like power around our earthly energy, power around our resources, power around our ability to manifest and cultivate those resources into the things that we're dreaming of, into the things that we want. A little cliche, but think about it. There's something in your life right now that you worked very hard for. There's something you can look around your life, the room you're in, the work you're doing, maybe back to the money you have in the bank, maybe back to the shape your body takes right now. And there's something that 6 months ago, a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, you thought, I really want that. I really wish for that. I want that in my life. I want that to be part of the symphony of the music I make with my time here. I don't know if that made sense, but it just came out. So we just roll with it around here. I really want to think about the music I'm making, the song I'm singing. I want this to be part of my band. You've done that. Think about that. You had an idea and then you gathered your energy and you gathered the resources and you were open to those resources joining you in this co-creation and this journey. I want you to realize that the life you want for yourself, the things you dream of, the things you are aching for in particular, want you as much as you want them. They want to join you in this unfolding, in this experiencing of what is possible in a life. What is possible in your life? All of these things want to join you in this journey. And so much of it is to open our hands and be like, this is where I'm headed. Who's with me? And you'd be surprised at who comes along. You'd be surprised at who shows up. And when I say who, I mean like the things and the resources as much as I mean the people, the places, the environments, the ideas, the ability to see, the ability to unfold into something that jives with you, that is harmonious with you. So this Page of Pentacles feels like a planner. It feels like setting the garden. I just did that. I dug out all my beds and raked them, and it's hard work. Like my arms, my shoulders are sore today from the work I did, but it's deeply satisfying. And I know there's something about the rhythm and the timing of that that's going to work really well for my garden this year. And I'm excited. I'm already anticipating the beautiful tomatoes coming into my life, the beautiful wildflowers coming into my life. I did that. The seeds did that. The earth did that. The sun did that. The water did that. We all came together in that moment, that 45 minutes I had free yesterday afternoon randomly, where it all came together and it was like, let's do this together. And I don't do that by myself, and neither do they. Like, we do this together. That's what the Page of Pentacles is saying. Like, do this with me. Do this with this resource. Do this with this life. Do this with this community. Like, let's do this together. Let's not just think about what we have now, but let's think about what we want to build into. You can take that, I mean, the world we're living in right now, you can roll that out into your personal, you can roll that out into your political, you can roll that out into your communities, into your nations. Like, you can roll that idea out. But we are here with certain resources today, and we have the ability, the magic, to make those resources unfold into themselves, create something along with the effort that comes from our soul, our spirit. So the Page of Pentacles is really here to say, to give you that encouragement, that boost, that structure to say, what are you going to do now? And I really cannot emphasize this enough. Carve out some time this week to sit down, to plan out, to say, this is what I want, and be really clear about it. I heard this guy on TikTok, I can't think of his name. He's a famous philosopher, scientist. I've seen him speak a lot. I haven't seen that he's been canceled yet, so that's good. I can't think of his name. He's an older gentleman. There's something about this death wall, and it's this idea in, military strategy, that when you're cornered, you fight 3 times as hard. And he says, don't give yourself 2 years to do a thing. Don't give yourself 5 years to do a thing. He goes, give yourself 6 months. He goes, put yourself in that position of the death wall. And I know that sounds kind of counterintuitive to a lot of the stuff that I speak of, but this Page of Pentacles is coming into the space to say, do it. Surprise yourself with the momentum that you have, that what do they call it? Potential energy, the potential momentum that you have in this seed, in this resource that's showing up in your life. Things really want to be created in this 8 year. They want to show up. The spiritual wants to become material. The idea wants to take shape in an 8 year. And there's something about this Page of Pentacles. It's like, now, do it now, do it now, and do it with a sense of urgency. And I'll say to you again, I don't want you pushing past your boundaries, but there is this kind of excitement, this, just this momentum that's here with you. Ride it in a way that feels good. Ride it in a way that feels authentic. Give some form to what you are hoping to build, create, cultivate, nurture into existence, especially over these next 6 months. Again, I don't know the astrology. I know there's a full moon coming up, but this feels so clear that there must be some astrological support around it. I wouldn't be surprised if this message is going to come to you in many, many forms over this next week. It's a moment to put structure around what you are building, and know that you are, by doing that, calling to you all of the resources you need to make that appear in a way that's more beautiful than maybe you could imagine at this moment. It feels good. It feels like the energy of a fresh school year. I'm such a nerd. I did love school. But that idea of your fresh backpack and your notebooks and what's gonna happen. That's kind of the energy. And at the same time, there's this seed that is getting ready to take root, and it wants your attention. Hand it over. Give it over. Let yourself begin to dream the next part of your evolution, the next part of your life into being. And don't be afraid to claim what you want, to claim what you desire. You have every right to want. You have every right to desire. You have every right to build a life that truly, truly satisfies you. Full stop and aho. All right, happy week. So much love. And let me know what you're creating. I mean, I'll hear it. If you want to tell me, I would love to hear it all day long. Also, go over to givingmystical.com, sign up for the newsletter. This summer, I'm going to have a lot of information to share, and I would love for you to be part of that journey with me. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye. It's giving everything is sacred. It's giving art. It's giving light you up and turn you on and set you free. It's giving curiosity. It's giving freedom. It's giving love. It's giving you are more magical and powerful than you can comprehend. It's giving, I don't know what's happening, but I am so here for it. It's giving you are pure potential. It's giving mystical.